Today we're making Rogan Josh. It's one of my favourite Indian takeaway classics, an absolute banger. It's so much easier than you think to make. And once you know how to make it, you're not gonna stop making this recipe. Let's go. Put your bread away, Liz. So I've never been to India, but whenever I order Indian food, I always order this curry. I particularly love the lamb where the meat is falling off the bone. There's lots of tantalizing different spices. It's got a medium heat to it, but you know me, I love a little bit of spice. And this is actually surprisingly simple to make once you know all the tips and tricks. Like with most curries, you can get them out of a packet, but they're always going to be best when you make them from scratch. And I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do yourself. First off, we just need to kick everything off by toasting some desiccated coconut. Just put it into a dry pan, no oil or anything, and toast it on a gentle heat for a few minutes. Just don't forget to give it a little shimmy every now and then. Another part of this curry, this Rogan Josh, is that it's from Kashmir, so I'm going to use Kashmir chillies. I'm just soaking them in some hot water just to release their flavour and soften them up. So with all curries, we need to start with like a curry base, so like a rempa, a spice paste. I'm going to make a blend with peeled garlic, and I'm praying it's all going to fit in this tiny little blender. So 16 cloves of peeled garlic, some blanched almonds, ginger. I ran out of ginger paste, so I was pounding some earlier. A big tablespoon, a teaspoon of that. And I'm going to add in the dried chillies. I've sort of been soaking for 5 minutes. Of course, don't get rid of this water. We're going to add it into the blender, like a couple of tablespoons, just to help it all blend together. And I totally just flicked some of that chili water in my eye. Oh, ouch.
You okay?
I'm good. I'm good. Occupational hazard. All right, I'm going to give this a quick blend up. Come on. Coconut does not want to toast today. What we're doing with the coconut is basically toasting it so it gets a real nice golden colour all over, nice and even. And we're going to use it while it's still warm because that's going to help bring out all the oils and that lovely coconut flavour into our dish. Why am I doing Rogan Josh? I absolutely love the curry dish. It's one of my favourite curry dishes. If I was going for an Indian restaurant or even like some takeaways, I normally go for a Rogan Josh because I think it's got a really nice medium heat. It's not too spicy, but really flavourful. But making it from scratch is a million times better. I took it to a house party last weekend and everybody loved it. And of course, if you're cooking for family or people that can't take as much spice and heat, just don't put as much chili or any chilies in at all. But this dish definitely needs Kashmiri chilies. It's from the region of Kashmir, so you need. And actually, I think the name Rogan Josh means braised stew in oil or ghee, and you want that. It refers to that lovely red color as well. So definitely try and get hold of some Kashmir chilies. Right, so I've been giving this a good old shake for a few minutes now. Just look at that lovely golden color on that coconut. That's what we're looking for. It's like nice and golden all over, not too dark and then singed. So we're gonna add that to our spice paste. Blend this all together. Now we're gonna toast our spices just to really bring out their flavor, the aromats. So we've got ground coriander, ground fennel, ground cumin, and poppy seeds. So that's gonna go into this hot pan. Give them a little gentle toss in a dry pan for a couple of minutes just to really release the aroma. And then we're gonna put that into our spice paste. I wish you could smell this in here. It smells amazing. These spices, you can physically see the steam and the smoke coming off. It just smells so flavorful in here. That'll be enough. I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to put it into my spice blend now, just to mix it all through. What you're looking for is a smooth paste. There we go. A lovely spice blend mixed through. You can see all the different herbs and spice, all the different spices that we used in there. Put it all into a bowl. Make sure I get every little bit out of that. And then we're going to add in the rest of our spices: ground cardamom, ground cloves, ground mace, and a little touch of ground cinnamon. I'm just going to stir that in, because these spices didn't need any toasting. They're aromatic enough. And because they're very fine spices, they can burn, so I'm not going to toast those. And once I'm happy with how that's mixed through, I'm going to start on cooking the base of the curry. Now, to cook this recipe, we're going to cook it in some ghee. That is clarified butter. We're just going to use a few tablespoons of it in a very large pan. I'm using my ginormous pressure cooker because I'm in a little rush and I want this dish to cook really well, but much faster. You could also do this in an Instant Pot or a slow cooker. All right, I'm going to heat this up. And then I've got 2 large onions because I'm doing a large batch. You could half this recipe. So the diced onion's going to go in. And we're going to cook the onion until it's golden brown. Now, like with most curries, and like I said last week, the longer you take with cooking your onions and getting that really nice golden brown color, nice and slow, the better it is. Remember, nice and slow, not hard and fast. So the onions have been stirring for about 10 minutes now. They've got a nice golden color on there. I'm just going to add in some cardamom pods. Next up, we're going to add some fresh ground turmeric. Please be careful when handling this because this stains like crazy. Put a big scoop in. I've got some curry leaves to use up. These are on the drier side, but I want to use them in this dish. And give everything a good stir. You see how everything just changes that lovely color. And then we're going to add in our chili paste. Now it's important to keep this stirring. And what we're looking for is the oils to start splitting and turning that lovely red color from the chili. That's when it's cooked enough. You don't want to rush this part. And it's really important that we let the oils come out, cook this part really nice and slowly, because you want to take your time with this. That's the thing about curries. You just make a really good base and the rest of the dish is going to be absolutely wonderful. So don't rush it. Take your time with it. Treat it good. Put a little touch more ghee in there. I could add oil in, but I want to use the ghee. It's just getting a little bit dry. I'm only putting in a little bit though. I don't want this to end up just being so oily that it just overpowers the dish. It's just a little bit extra. It's getting all steamy in my face. Oof. My spices are really coming through now. I'm just keeping it moving because I don't want it to burn and catch. So I'm very conscious that it'll start to stick on the bottom of the pan. So just keep it moving. What I'm going to do now is slowly start adding in my yogurt, bit by bit. All right, I'm gonna go in 1 spoon at a time. When it's fully mixed in, we're going to add in the next spoon. So we're doing this gradually so that we make sure it's all fully combined. Get in there. It smells so good. I've got to use about half of this tub for this amount of curry. But if it needs a little extra, I'll put some more in.
What's your favourite meat preference for curries?
My favourite meat preference for curries has to be lamb or mutton, only because I love that sweetness in the meat. Or goat. Oh my gosh, I nearly forgot about goat. I love goat meat. But I love the gaminess that you get from lamb and goat. The reason I say lamb, I prefer lamb meat out of them all is because it's really accessible where we live. That or chicken, because the kids love their chicken curries. And it's a really affordable. But if I can get hold of goat meat, I'll be doing that in a flash. But we got a really good halal butchers close to where we live, and they can basically chop up this lamb, there's a leg of lamb, all for us, bones and all, because I love having the bone marrow and all those little bits like this. This is the bone marrow I'm talking about. You see that there? That's the prize right there. So if you can get hold of it, get someone to do this for you, or buy, you can just get diced shoulder or leg of lamb. See how lovely and rich this curry base has got. I wish you could smell it because it smells so good in here. I would literally stick my face in there, but I don't really want this curry facial. So I'm gonna keep this stirring, and then we're gonna add in our tomatoes next. So Rogan Josh, it does have tomatoes in. You can use whole tomatoes that have been peeled and cut up, but I'm gonna add in these San Marzano tomatoes. I've got, stir that in. Careful it starts spitting. And of course, a nice generous helping of seasoning. Right, I'm just gonna let that cook for a couple of minutes, then I'm gonna add the meat. All right, it's time to go for the meat. I'm gonna add, this is about 2 kilos here. This is plenty. Oh. And I'm gonna make sure every piece of this meat is covered in this sauce. And then I'm gonna just bring it to a gentle simmer. This doesn't look like much right now, but I guarantee you in about an hour's time, this is going to be the best curry you've ever tasted. Come at me in the comments. Please don't. I'm going to be using my pressure cooker. So this is a ginormous pressure cooker that I had when I was running the Michelin kitchens. Now these are dangerous. They're amazing in the kitchen for cutting the time of your cooking in half, but please read your instructions and manuals before using them if you've not used them before. They do terrify the hell out of me, but they are so invaluable and a great way of speeding up your cooking. So something that like this would take 1 or 2 hours to make, this will probably do it in half that time. Perfect for busy mums, business owners, chefs, YouTubers. Get one. I'll put a link in the description below actually. This one's a fantastic one, but I think you can get like instant pots or air fryers. They've all got the, 11, 101 functions, but for me, this is essential. This is on a gentle simmer, so I'm gonna leave this to come up to pressure, and then I'm gonna turn the heat right down, and then I'll let it do its thing. Never leave pressure cookers unassisted. So disclaimers out the way, see you back in a bit. I reckon this has had plenty enough time, let's check it. Oh, it smells incredible in here. I can just literally smell all of those different spices and herbs, and that lamb, that fattiness from the lamb just smells great. I'm just gonna finish this off with a little sprinkle of garam masala. Now this is a fresh blend that I made myself, but you can buy this in the supermarkets. I'm just gonna sprinkle it over the top. I'm gonna cook it for a couple of minutes just to let that really infuse and permeate into that curry. And I would traditionally serve this with some pilau rice, so rice flavored with spices, or just some freshly steamed basmati rice, or even some naan bread. But I had a little bit of the yogurt left over, and it's tomato season, so I'm gonna make a little yogurt side. Let's go. I've got these gorgeous tomatoes, so I definitely want to use these in my yogurt. Now that we've given the yogurt a good old beating, it's nice and slightly runny. Should we use a mix of these tomatoes? So I'm just gonna remove some of the slight cores in the tomatoes, and then I'm just gonna roughly chop them up. This is such a unfussy side dish to do, and I love it. It's just so fresh. I'm just gonna put the tomatoes into a little separate bowl, because what I'm gonna do is macerate them. So season them up with a little bit of sea salt, which is just gonna bring out so much of that flavour from the tomato. Right, I'm gonna tip them into there now. And give it a good stir in. The yogurt's gonna have a real nice cooling effect if you're having, you know, struggling with a lot of the heat from a curry, if it's got too much chilli in there for you. Always like a yogurt side dish really helps. Right, I'm just gonna roughly chop up some coriander. And this is gonna garnish our curry, and I'm gonna put some of it in the yogurt side. I already put salt in here, so you don't need to add any salt, but you can also add in some pepper, like cayenne pepper or paprika. I'm gonna leave it as is. I've been dying to try this since it's come out the pan. So as per tradition, you can serve it with rice, but I'm gonna try it with bread today. Look how soft and tender that is. That is so good. I know that you can taste all those toasted spices. It's got a nice heat to it. It could have a little bit more, but I went a little bit too crazy with the chilies last time and everyone was like, it's too hot. It's got a nice medium heat to it. And I think that tastes so much better than getting an instant or takeaway. But I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, so hats off if you make this on a regular basis. Guys, you need to try this. It's just fantastic, and it's going to blow your friends and family away if you make this for them. If you want out more videos like this, make sure you're subscribing and hit that like button. And I'll catch you guys next week, where you're in for an absolute special treat with a special guest. Who is it?